Oiler fans are starting to get worried, as am I, when it comes to the aspect of not just goaltending between the crease, but also on the power play. When the Oilers have had historic power plays throughout the course of Connor McDavid's career with the Edmonton Oilers, they are struggling this year, and we'll get into all that and more today on Oilers Digest as we recap yesterday's game against the Dallas Stars. But before we break down all the action, make sure to subscribe your due Oilers Digest, as 84% of you have not yet subscribed to the channel. I know it's been a bit of a rocky start here for the Oilers, but join us along the ride, and hopefully there's nowhere to go but up for the Oilers. But without further ado, I, for one, am not happy. Yesterday, the Oilers did take on the Dallas Stars in an afternoon matinee at the American Airlines Center, and they controlled play for a good chunk of the game. They were all over Dallas, and you're expecting, okay, well, did they come out with the win? And the answer, no, they did not, as they fell to the Dallas Stars by a score of 4-1. We'll break down all the goals here. First period, no goals scored. The Oilers did take over the game, 11 shots compared to 2 to Dallas after the first period, so they were all over the team. And then Matt Duchene, with 26 seconds left in the second period, capitalizes on a clean wrist shot past the glove of Stuart Skinner on the power play to make it 1-0 Stars. And then 8 minutes into the third period, Matt Duchene again makes it 2-0 Dallas all over the Oilers, and Rupa Hintz makes it 3-0 Dallas on an assist from Logan Stankoven and Jason Robertson. So the Stars capitalized on the Oilers giving it all in the second period, and then the Stars basically took over from there. Leon Draisaitl did break the shutout of Jake Oettinger to make it 3-1, but Jason Robertson put a seal on it to make it 4-1 Stars, and that was it. So pretty disappointing game on the outcome. Obviously, the Oilers were all over Dallas, but they were unable to capitalize on all their power plays, and just basic little mistakes by the Oilers that Dallas did jump on, and that's exactly what a contending team would do to the Oilers. You can see their shots on goal 31-24 in favor of the Oilers. Dallas a little bit more physical yesterday, but the Oilers dominating on the draw, winning 39 compared to Dallas's 23. And you can see there the stat that everyone's worried about, the power plays, 0 for 2 for the Oilers. Meanwhile, Dallas capitalized on their one and only power play on that goal from Matt Duchene. Other than the face-offs, the Oilers dominated, but a lot of advanced stats in favor of the Oilers. Again, they were all over the Dallas Stars. You don't really need to understand every single advanced analytic to realize that, hey, the Oilers were in this game for a considerable chunk of it, more than Dallas. But again, Dallas capitalizing on Edmonton's mistakes, and the Oilers just not giving a complete effort to finish this one out. You can see the scoring chances on the left-hand side. Oilers all in and around Jake Oettinger, but Oettinger made a lot of easy saves from the Oilers offense. And again, on the right side, Dallas, Stuart Skinner, not as busy as you would think, but the Stars did come away from the lead. You can see there, well, how can the Oilers, be so anemic offensively when they have this? Well, other than the first line of Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman, which they should split up, the bottom nine wasn't really all that yesterday. Janmark, Nugent-Hopkins, and Arvidsson, sure, they control play, but when it comes to threatening offensive chances, there wasn't really anything from that. Even the bottom six, the third line, that is, pretty much the second line, the unofficial second line for the Oilers at this point, with Skinner, Henrique, and Brown. They weren't really doing all that much yesterday. And then Podkolzin and Ryan and Perry, they had a few shifts in the offensive zone where they controlled pressure, but again, from that fourth line, nothing threatening offensively. And when it comes to Jake Oettinger, that was the easiest 9.68 of his career. Didn't really have to outduel Stuart Skinner for a good chunk of that. A lot of Oilers shots did come from the point. There were floaters from the point, or just perimeter shots that the Stars were able to make sure Jake Oettinger saw. And then again, going back to the power play. What's wrong with the power play? The Oilers have had the best aggregate power play in the NHL since assistant Glenn Gulletson started running it to start the 2018-19 season. Of course, he's been with multiple head coaches. 2018 and 19, that would have been the Ken Hitchcock era, right into Dave Tippett, and then Jay Woodcroft right after that, and then Kris Knoblauch. He's been through so many head coaches, but yet he still ran a successful power play. They've ranked 9th, first 3 times to to end off the league in power play percentage, 3rd and 4th in the league respectively in those 6 seasons. It's basically won them a playoff series like the Los Angeles matchup in April, and then that's something you come to expect from the Oilers. I mean, many teams and media fans have called the Oilers power play merchants when it comes to their power play being pretty much automatic, but that is not the case this year. And Kris Knoblauch was asked about a potential change to the power play, and this is what he said. He said, "We'll evaluate and we'll look at it. We're at the point where we got to be considering making some adjustments to it. Every power play is going to go through a stretch of not scoring, but we've gone 6 games in now and we're 1 for 15. I'm not sure it's something we do right away, but it's certainly something that is on our minds when it comes to process of elimination for the power play. McDavid and Draisaitl, they're not going anywhere. Hyman, I know many people were clamoring for Corey Perry to replace him in that net front spot, but at this time, I don't really have a problem with Hyman on that power play. Bouchard's not going anywhere. I mean, who's the other next option? Ekholm, Nurse, no. I haven't had any problems with Evan Bouchard's play whatsoever this season, not just on the power play, but 5-on-5. And so that leads us with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, though it might seem surprising to remove someone who recorded 104 points the season before last, so the 2022-23 season. The Oilers do have someone on the roster who should be able to fulfill Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' duties. Offseason signing Jeff Skinner has the makeup to do exactly what Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has done on the power play. He could exactly be the tonic this unit needs right now, in that he's a 6-time 30-goal scorer and has more of a shoot-first mindset than the longest-serving Oiler. And Jeff Skinner's been one of the most consistent Oilers to start the year. I know he's pretty upset with the way the season's starting out so far, with the frustration shown at the end of yesterday's game. And not just that, but an offensive opportunity he had, went back to the bench, slammed the bench door. So obviously he, the standards that he set for himself, he is not reaching that whatsoever. And when it comes to the Oilers, it's not just the power play, but it's also just scoring in general. And that's why a guy like Stuart Skinner can't really rag on him a lot for the game yesterday. Sure, the first goal he might have had back, but he can't score goals himself. So when the Oilers aren't doing anything offensively, Skinner can only do so much to hold the fort before things get going for the Oilers on the score sheet. So without further ado, I mean, that one you put in the rear view mirror and you head into what is next. And what is next? That's a great question. The Oilers head home after that 2-game mini road trip, and they are met by the Carolina Hurricanes. Yes, the Carolina Hurricanes do roll into town, led by Rod Brind'Amour, and that'll be another good test for the Oilers. I mean, if Dallas wasn't a great test, then the Carolina Hurricanes surely would be. And after that, not just Carolina, but the Pens, Sidney Crosby, and the Pittsburgh Penguins roll into town. So this is another good reset for the Oilers, back out on the road for 2 games, back home to sort of reset themselves. That's it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of yesterday's game. What would you do to the power play? What would you do to the lines themselves? Would you split up Draisaitl and McDavid? I would, but let me know what you think down in the comments. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm Matt.